So now we're getting to the fun part, right? Which is designing the process, designing the app itself. So for this, we're going to use a flowchart. And this is entirely optional. You don't have to use a flowchart. You don't actually have to design the process beforehand, but we highly encourage you to do so. Eventually, when you're a pro at this, you may not need to design it, to draw it beforehand. This is all going to come down intuitively to you. But when you're starting out, it's good practice for you to design it beforehand, because if you just start building things inside Jestor, there's a good chance that you're going to build the wrong kind of tables with the wrong kind of fields, with the wrong kind of connections. You're going to make mistakes, then you're going to have to go back and fix those mistakes. So it's good practice to design things beforehand, and flowcharts are a good way to do this because it's a very visual aid, right? So regarding the process itself, for this sequence of videos, we're going to build a reimbursement request app. So the idea is for employees to submit requests. They're going to ask to be reimbursed. And when they submit this request, someone's going to look at it and either approve or deny it. So if we map this out and plot this into a flowchart, we're going to get something like this, right? So that's the start of the process, and then the employee is going to submit a reimbursement request ticket, probably through a form, right? And this is going to go into a request Kanban board, for example. It could be a different view, but we're going to use the Kanban board. So someone's going to look at this and they're going to have to make a decision. They're going to look at the information and see, is all the necessary information attached? Maybe the employee forgot to send a receipt or something. But assuming that it is all attached, then they're going to analyze this request using the corporate guidelines. So for example, maybe for travel expenses, the max amount that you're going to reimburse is, I don't know, $1,000. So there's probably some company guidelines, because you're not going to reimburse anything that people send. Otherwise, people are just going to always send requests that are not valid, right? So after you analyze this, you're going to make another decision. Is it compliant with the guidelines, or isn't it compliant with guidelines? And if it is, we're going to approve the request and schedule it for reimbursement and notify the employee by email. If it's not compliant, we're going to deny the request, and we're still going to notify it by email, and the process it's going to end. And you can see that there's a separate branch here when not all information is attached. So maybe the employee forgot to send the receipt. And if this is the case, we're going to ask for the correct information by email, and there's another decision here. Did the employee send the correct information this time? So they forgot to send the receipt, you asked for it, they sent it to you. So if yes, you're going to return to the main branch of the process. And if 1, 2, 3 days pass, and you still haven't received the proper information, you're just going to deny the request, and this is also going to go to the main branch of the process. So it's quite a simple process. There's a couple of things that I'm omitting right now. For example, who gets to approve a request, right? But we're going to delve into that a little later on. But if we wanted to build a very simple process, a Kanban board of requests and all of this workflow, this would be a good approximation of what you would need, right? So using this as a guideline for the process, now we're going to start building things.